Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to this video. In this video, we're gonna give our reactions to some moves that have already happened in this NFL offseason, and previews of free agencies, potential trades, and just any little things we want to throw out there. We'll bring up in this video. So, with that said, where should we start?
I
I
want to
mean,
start with the Kiko Alonso McCoy trade because that was the big thing that happened, I guess.
who trade?
The Kiko Alonso LaShawn McCoy
Oh,
trade.
yeah, that's a big one. So, you want to go first on this one?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
I
you got it.
I personally think it was pretty even trade on both sides, given Kiko Alonso's injury history. Like if he wasn't injured so much, I would have said that Bills won this or Eagles won this trade. But I feel like there's other running backs out there that the Eagles can get to replace McCoy. Obviously, none that are as talented, but I still definitely think there's someone that can kind of pick up close to where he left off. And I feel like it was good for the Bills because they obviously needed a running attack because CJ Stroud was not working out. But I feel like it was a pretty even trade because Kiko Alonso is a good middle linebacker. I think he plays middle linebacker, right? Inside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he's a really good inside linebacker when he's healthy, if he's healthy. And he played at Oregon
Which is the big question because he's had like three knee injuries in the past.
three,
With,
4 years, something like that.
I mean, he hurt it like a few times in college, like twice I think, and then like he hurt it last year. So he's definitely
Mm-hmm.
been an injury question in the past.
Yeah, I think besides the injuries, if he can avoid those, I think he'll fit really good into the defense. They need like a thumping type of force in the middle of the defense, someone that'll lay the wood on them in the run game and everything. Because the Eagles have never really, at least recently, they haven't had that type of physicality on their defense. So I really feel like he'll bring some type of attitude, punishing defense to the whole unit. And he'll be back in Chip Kelly's whole team defensive system and whatnot. So I really think that'll be nice for him. So yeah, that's about it.
All right. Well, just so everybody knows that I'm gonna tear into the Philadelphia Eagles on this trade. I feel like this is an idiotic move that was made by Chip Kelly, wanting to get one of his buddies in Philadelphia, and that's the ultimate reason they made this move. Which Alonso's a great player. He's been an injury question, which is just another thing. But if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, you can't make this move. You have a top three running back in the NFL, arguably the best running back in the NFL. Bottom line, he's in that group. And when you have a guy of McCoy's talent, I think it's ridiculous to trade him for, a middle of the pack linebacker that can be good if, he can get through some injury problems. I think it's just an idiotic move for the Eagles. And I think the bottom line is Chip Kelly, there's talks about, McCoy's relationship with the front office there in Philadelphia or whatever was mad at McCoy or something. So just look for an opportunity to bring one of his buddies from Oregon back to Philadelphia. And, that's the main reason the Eagles made this move. And I feel like, you know, next year, McCoy goes to Buffalo. That's a playoff team. The way I look at it now with that defense and, a running back like McCoy. And just, I feel like making this move is going to cost Chip Kelly his job. I feel like the Eagles go completely downhill next year. And, I mean, depending on what they do the rest of free agency. And this could very well, if this doesn't work out, result in Chip Kelly losing his job. I don't know if you feel the same way about that, but I feel like it's just way too risky a move. It's just a bonehead move for the Eagles, the way I look at it. And they need a force on their defense, but they could have gone in free agency and gotten that force. They could have found better weapons out there than Alonzo. They could have found a better deal for LaShawn McCoy out there than getting Kiko Alonso. And the bottom line is it's just Chip Kelly wanting to bring an Oregon guy to Philadelphia, and that's the way I look at it. So that's pretty much all I had to say. I just think it's a dumb move for Philadelphia. It's great for Buffalo. This makes Buffalo a playoff team. I don't know if they can challenge the Patriots in the AFC East, but I think that definitely puts them right in the playoff hunt in the AFC. That's for sure.
If
That's pretty much all I have
Buffalo,
to say about this
yeah,
trade.
if Buffalo manages to get some type of quarterback, I know they got Matt Castle, but Matt Castle just sucks.
Yeah, he's terrible,
I don't know
garbage.
why they.
I still think EJ Manuel has the potential to be the guy if he can get in the right system. I
Yeah, I
mean, we'll
think,
see how that works out, but I think this Bills team, we'll get more into teams later on in the offseason, has '06 Bears written all over them with stellar, top notch defense, a mediocre quarterback, and the '06 Bears proved that all you need is the mediocre quarterback. You know who led that team to the Super Bowl? Rex Grossman.
and who beat him?
So,
Peyton Manning. Sorry, continue.
but that Bears team proved that you don't need a star quarterback to be good in this league. I mean, look at the Seahawks. You know, Russell Wilson's a good quarterback, but I don't look at Russell Wilson as one of the elite quarterbacks in this league. I look at him as a product of, a stout defense. You know, same with the 49ers in 011, whatever year they made it to the Super Bowl with Kaepernick QB, and Kaepernick has shown potential that he can be a good quarterback, but Kaepernick is proving now that as soon as that defense starts to go downhill, he's not the quarterback that can carry a team. And that just goes to show how great that defense was and that, you don't need a superstar quarterback to succeed in this league. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that deal.
Yep. And one more note on the Buffalo Bills, like kind of just to add on, is a couple quarterbacks in the draft that I feel could come in and compete for a quarterback position because I know they got Castle, Emmanuel, and EJ Manuel, because they obviously have a top five defense. They may lose guys like Jerry Hughes, Denoris Searcy, who I hope Denver gets, but I feel like those guys could be replaced through free agency
Yeah,
slash draft. But during the combine when I was watching, I think his name was Brandon Bridge. I'm not sure exactly where he's from, but I liked him. They said, or Mike Mayock had said, if he works on his footwork, which can obviously be taught, then he could be a pretty good quarterback. He's got natural throwing motion. He's pretty accurate, but it's all about the footwork. And then obviously, Winston and Mariota would be gone by the time the Bills pick. So I know
yeah,
there's
and I've heard things about them potentially trading up for a quarterback, but I don't think they're in a position where they need to trade up to get, Winston or Mariota.
yeah. I know there's Bryce Petty, Brett Hundley.
Oh,
Uh,
I love Bryce Petty. If you know anything about me on Twitter, everybody used to rag me for it because I'd always pick him to win the Heisman. I'm a huge Bryce Petty fan.
mhm.
Now, are the Bills going to look to draft another quarterback? That's questionable. Do they still think Manuel can be the guy? Are they going to try to see what Castle can do? I mean, that's all questionable, but I just don't see them looking to draft another quarterback. I don't know how you
Yeah.
look at it.
And
I,
then
I say they
Grayson.
try to make manage what they have there in Buffalo already.
Yep. You never know. They may make some crazy trade again. But alright. So,
Are they going to get Revis?
um, they might. I heard talks of them reuniting Rex Ryan and the Revis because apparently they may offer him big money there again, like millions a year, like always. But
I, if they
if
can make the cap numbers work, I don't see Revis leaving New England. But if they can't work out the cap number, I think Buffalo is a real possibility for Revis.
yep, if they get
So,
rid, that
go ahead.
defense will be one of the best defenses.
Oh, what was it? What was it last year in the league? Wasn't it like the number two defense, something like that?
I know the defensive rankings went Seattle, at least like yardage wise. Seattle, Detroit, Denver, and I think Bills were fourth.
Wow, Denver was that high.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised myself.
I didn't even realize that till just now.
Yeah. I think it was mainly because of the run-stopping defense, because that they gave up like 60 yards a game, and that kind of kept the yardage down. But I think four. I know at one point the Vikings were number four because they actually
I
had a
mean,
very underrated defense.
you just watch that the Bills team down the stretch. Like when everybody said Aaron Rodgers couldn't be stopped, that Bills defense just the Green Bay came to Buffalo and they Bills just completely clowned on Aaron Rodgers in that game.
Yep.
All right, so we'll move on to the next thing. I guess I mean any real comments on the franchise tags? I don't have much to say about that. I mean we'll get to Sue later, but
Hmm.
I mean how about Dallas tagging Murray or not Murray Bryant? What do you think of that?
That's a pretty good idea. I think obviously he's their wide receiver of the future. I like him and what's that? What's that other guy's name?
Dwayne Harris?
Yeah, is it Dwayne Harris, the number two
Yeah,
guy?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I really like him. Think him and Dez go well together with Tony Romo. And I know they just re-signed Cole Beasley as well.
Oh, I love Beasley.
Yeah.
I mean he's small, but I mean he has crazy athletic ability.
Yep. So I think that was a good idea. Lock up one of the best wide receivers in the game, at least for a year. Probably sign into a big contract later on, and then just now that they did that, they can get that off the plate and focus on re-signing the offensive linemen, Ronaldo McClain, Justin Durant, and Marco
Which
Murray.
they brought back free today.
Yeah, I was
Or
pretty mad about that. I wanted him.
yeah, I mean we could have used him here too. I'm pretty sure they were talking about Doug Free going everywhere. Like
Yep.
I saw so many different rumors about him,
Yeah.
but I felt all along that Dallas was going to lock him up.
Yeah, he's definitely good. It was only a 3-year deal, I think, though. Thought they would
Yeah,
have gone longer.
I mean how isn't he like 29 something like that?
Yeah, I thought he was pretty young.
Yeah, I don't think he's that old, but yeah, I mean I feel like they had to tag Bryant.
Hmm.
DeMarco Murray, he's just been he had the one good year, but he's been an injury question. It was one good year. You can't let Bryant's the best receiver in the game, and you can't let him walk. Murray, they can make a run at him, but most likely the way I look at it, he doesn't stay in Dallas. Somebody else overpays for him, and they find somebody to just fine to fill his spot. I don't think DeMarco Murray's a necessity for them. Honestly, the way I look at it, I feel like he's gonna be a one-hit wonder. He's gonna get hurt again, or he's just not gonna have that same level of production after he gets paid. And plus, they're talking about them getting Peterson too, which I feel like Peterson's ultimately gonna end up in Dallas because he's trying to talk his way in there right now. There's no way he comes back to Minnesota, and it's ultimately gonna be Dallas.
Yep. I feel
Which
like there's a lot
go
of
ahead.
free agent running backs and in the draft that they could get to replace Murray, especially behind such a great offensive line at run blocking.
Hmm.
Like even, I mean, I know Mark Ingram, I think, is a free agent.
Yeah, they were rumored him to Dallas.
Yeah, what are some other guys? I know Moreno's up there because I love Moreno, but he'll probably serve as like a backup somewhere now because he's had so many knee operations. Um,
That is that team. They're gonna end up getting Peterson, and I'm a Redskins fan, so I hate to say it, but that's gonna be a nasty team next year.
yeah, that's right. He got reinstated or will get reinstated.
Yeah, yeah, and he's gonna end up in Dallas.
Yeah, he said he'd take less money to go play in Dallas.
It's not gonna be Minnesota, and ultimately he's gonna pull every stop that he can to maneuver his way to Dallas.
Yep.
I mean, you hate to say that, but I mean that's just kind of seems like the way it's gonna end up.
Yeah,
So
pretty much.
yeah. So next thing I want to talk about is Brandon Marshall going to the Jets pending a physical, which everything should go well with that. So and then also you can just factor in with that Percy Harvin likely getting released. Any comments on what you think about that?
Um, I understand the Percy Harvin release. That's actually, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah,
I mean, he's obviously a very talented receiver. but his contract is massive, and if they're gonna get anywhere, they can't have that type of money hanging around.
It seems like
Especially,
with Harvin, anywhere he goes, he seems to be a cancer in the locker room.
yeah, that as well, and especially with having to pay Decker because they gave him like number one money, and then now they're getting Brandon Marshall, and he's already got a big contract. So I mean, you got like three guys getting number one wide receiver money. I just don't see that happen or turning out very well because you're just overpaying guys. I do like the Brandon Marshall trade. I think the Jets got a steal in that. Obviously, there's all those character and locker room question marks I've heard, but obviously he's talented, very
It's an
talented.
injury question too.
Wait,
He
what?
had he had the injury problems last year. Didn't
Yeah,
he like have like a punctured lung? I think something like that.
yeah.
But
I think they have the weapons in New York. They just need a quarterback. And I feel if they don't trade away their pick and Mariota falls to them, they might take him. Not sure how they're doing that whole system.
is there any way Geno Smith can still be the guy, or is he complete toast?
If he can play like he did Week 17 last year, then yes. But that was a very rare game he had, and I'm not sure how often he'll be able to do that. But I mean, he showed promise of development and everything, but he was not consistent with it. It only happened a couple times. Not enough
Here's
for
the new
me to be sold on him.
here's the new thing. Are we giving Geno the boot? Is he out of New York?
Yes, I think.
Ultimately, where do you think he ends up? Do you think he gets another chance to compete for a starting job?
I think. I don't know. Maybe he could go to Buffalo. You never know. I feel like he may get some quarterback needing team that's like the Titans, where they just kind of pick veterans up just to try and get through a season. What some other teams? Titans, Chiefs, maybe. I know there was talk of them maybe getting a different quarterback because Alex Smith obviously not living up to the not the
Well,
hype.
they just paid out. They just paid A. Smith a ton of money last year
Yeah,
in the middle of. What about Arizona? That's a possibility if they want to get somebody younger in there behind Palmer if he gets hurt again.
I could see that. I mean,
And
they don't really have a very stable quarterback position with all the injuries and all the
I
old
mean
guys.
they're another team. They just paid Palmer too, but I mean he's of course
Yeah,
the injury question. There's another possibility if you know who isn't there anymore. What about Cleveland for Geno Smith? Or you think that's too much to just add to the circus by bringing in Geno Smith?
yeah. I feel like that organization right now as a whole is just probably the worst organization in the league. One of the
It's completely turned upside down. And the crazy thing to think about is everybody looks at the Browns right now like, oh, they're this terrible team, which they're pretty bad. But people forget that this was a team that through week 12, I think it was leading the AFC North, I want to
that's
say. And that's just the crazy thing to think about is it seems like as it's like after they lost that game to Indianapolis is when it all just fell off the cliff. After they completely choked versus Indianapolis with freaking Brian Hoyer blowing the game. Um, I mean the defense just gave up that drive. I mean
yeah, for
they
sure.
blew that game versus Indianapolis, and that was the end of them last year.
Yeah. So they have the defense to go to the playoffs. I mean, they got Joe Hayden, Justin Gilbert was doing well. They got Dante Whitner, but he's getting old. Deshaun Gibson, but he's set to hit free agency market, but I think he'll get re-signed. They got Carlos Dansby, there's all those guys, Paul Kruger, and they have a good defense, which I think is one of the reasons they were still in the playoff picture till the very end.
Oh, that defense carried them last year. I mean, I remember the Thursday night game versus Cincinnati where the defense was just getting big play after big play after big
Yeah.
play.
And speaking of Browns, their offense they have no wide receiver talent. And I'm not a big fan of Manziel, and obviously, but it showed that he obviously can't do everything himself. I mean, when you have Andrew Hawkins as like your number one guy, usually you're not in a very good position. Nothing
Uh,
against
they,
him. I think
they need
he's a
to
pretty
add something if
wide receiver.
right now. I mean, with especially with Gordon. Gordon has potential. He's top three receiver in the league when he keeps his head on straight.
Yep. And I feel like the Browns would be the one team that could go after Percy Harvin just because they
Oh, that's
need
the last
something.
thing they need to do. But
Exactly. I
knowing
think
that front
they'll
office,
do.
they'll do it. But that's the last thing they need.
Yep. I just feel like they're so desperate that they may go after him just to get something.
God, that team is going to be scary next year. Just, I mean, and not in a good way. That team is
Yeah.
going to be scary, scary bad, and
Yeah.
just that locker. Oh God, that locker room is going to be terrible. That's not going to be a fun year to be a Browns fan next year.
Nope.
But back to Brandon Marshall. If I could, I'm just going to put a few comments on that. I feel like it's a good move for the Jets, and they did which the real thing I want to comment on is the Bears with
Yeah.
in this situation with Marshall, where the Bears they're with the first pick in the 2016 draft, the Chicago Bears select. That team. They're going straight downhill. You know, if if they stole, I'm the logic for this front office is just terrible at this point because if Cutler's still the guy and they get rid of Brandon Marshall, but they still, what are they doing? They don't even know what they're doing.
Yeah. They got Alshon Jeffrey as the number one guy, which I'm okay with. I mean, he's really good. He's got great hands. He can make some crazy catches, and he's got very underrated speed. They got Martellus Bennett. I like him. Though he's kind of crazy at times. Um, and then they got like Josh Morgan as their number two guy, I think.
Oh God, he's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, they have Matt Forte. He's obviously really good. But besides those guys, they don't really have much, and that defense is
The,
horrible
the
as it.
defense is atrocious. I
Yeah.
mean, it's sad to say that about the Chicago Bears. That defense is atrocious, and I mean that's just going to completely go downhill there. All right, so now I think that's just about it. Let's talk about some actual free agents. I don't have that much long left, but just get a few words on some actual free agents. Let's start with Sue. Where do you think Sue's going?
I think he ends up. I feel like he may. I heard the Chargers are going after him. I don't think he ends up there. I think he'll end up wherever whoever gives him the most money. I heard the Dolphins may go after him, which I could see him going there. One because they're cleaning out their roster. In case you haven't seen, they're cutting a whole bunch of people. So
Uh,
they just cut their linebacker, Phillip Wheeler, and I know they're gonna cut that other one, Libri or something like that. So I feel they'll go after him big time just to fill those gaps. Obviously, he doesn't play linebacker, but to make up for the production of them and just to make that defensive line that's already very dominant even better. So I think he ends up in Miami because I feel like they're going to give him a pretty good amount of money.
this this doesn't seem to be very popular, but I feel like he ends up back in Detroit because I feel like they'll work a contract out with him. They'll move some pieces around, do what they need to do. Restructure Megatron maybe or something. Whatever they're gonna do, they'll work something out with Sue. I feel like they want him back. I feel like he likes it in Detroit. The organization likes him. I feel like they'll work something out and he'll end up back with the Lions. Just as long as the Redskins don't go after him, I'm good. If we get him, which knowing this organization, I'm not gonna put anything past Snyder at this point. I don't want him here, not at all, not in the slightest way. I don't want him here.
Yep.
Um. So yeah, well we'll move on to the next guy who I want the Redskins to use all their money on instead of Sue. What do you think about McCourty? What do you think? Do you think happens?
I Two places I have him going. I have him going back to New England. I feel he'll take less money than he deserves because he said he obviously wants to stay in New England. And I feel like they mutually like each other, and I feel they'll work out a smaller contract, but he'll still because it's obviously a pretty bad free safety market. So I feel like if he got anywhere near like 10 million, I feel like he's very good, but I feel like he'd still be getting overpaid just because it's a free safety position. I don't feel like they should be getting paid 10 million unless you're like Earl Thomas.
Which I look at it like McCourty's the second best safety in the NFL. I'll put him behind Earl Thomas, I think, without a doubt. I don't think there's any argument. I think McCourty's the second best safety in the NFL. I don't know if you agree, disagree with that, but
I like Jarius Byrd, but he didn't play this year. Him and Kenny Vaccaro, they're both really good.
yeah. Vaccaro had a terrible year, which I mean he's Texas boy, so I like him.
Yeah,
But
they're young.
yeah, he had a terrible year. So I mean we'll see. With McCourty, yeah, I feel like again like he ends up back in New England just for the reasons you stated that there's mutual respect in the organization, and he'll end up taking less money than he deserves to to end up back in New England just because he likes it there. But I want him here in Washington. I feel like we get McCourty in free agency, use all that money, pair him up with Landon Collins, and our safety position's fixed. McCourty and Collins.
You take McCollins, or not McCollins, Collins with the number 5 pick. That may go down as one of the riskiest picks of all time because he's not a top 10 pick to me.
His
He's
stock
good.
has been falling for
Yeah,
whatever reason, but I don't care if it's a reach or not. I don't care how we're reaching. I want Landon Collins. I don't care where we take him. I want him.
yeah.
Just like in a draft day when they took Vontae Mack. Um, Kevin Costner wanted Vontae Mack, whatever they call him, Sonny Weaver. He wanted Vontae Mack. We need Landon Collins that does. I don't care where we get him. I don't care. I don't want to risk it. Sitting at number 6. We took LaRon Landry in '07 at number 6. We saw how that worked out. It's rolling the dice. I don't care. I want Collins.
He's
It's
just under
risky,
now.
but I feel like it'll work out.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I feel like you guys probably will take a pass rusher, but I think McCourty will end up back in New England for the reason I
Yeah,
stated. They
same here.
mutually like each other. Or I feel like the Eagles go all out for him for McCourty because they have a huge secondary issue right now, and I feel like their free safety is the position they're going to replace Nate Allen, who I don't think's a bad free safety, but he's definitely not Devin McCourty. And I feel like since they have like almost $50 million in cap space now with all their cuts to Trent Cole, McCoy, and whatnot, they have tons of money. So I feel like they'll be able to afford him. Still shore up their running back position, wide receiver with Macklin, and get some pass rushers and whatnot, cornerbacks. I feel like they might be a playoff team this year again, depending on how the whole Kiko Alonso McCoy trade goes down. But I still have, with all that said, I still have McCourty going back to New England.
All right, there's two more major guys I want to talk about. Then I got to get out of here because I have a game. But we'll do like a part 2 at some point if we can figure out some stuff. Two more major guys I want to talk about: DeMarco Murray and Julius Thomas. So
All right,
we'll start with Murray.
Murray. I feel like there's another chance that he returns to Dallas. I feel like he likes the organization. Yeah, and obviously has good chemistry with Tony Romo receiving wise, and with the whole offensive line with the run blocking and whatnot. And I feel like he'll take less money to stay with them because a lot of guys end up doing that. They like the organization, but if he doesn't go back to them, I don't know where he'll end up. I don't really haven't heard much about other teams. Obviously, there's tons of teams interested in him. I just haven't heard what teams want him. The Browns have a lot of space, but I'm not sure if he'll want to go there and if
All right, hold on a second, man. My bad.
um I know Isaiah Crowell's there and I think he's pretty good. option for the future. Um, yeah, I'm not really sure about him. I feel like he'll end up back in Dallas.
All right. Yeah, I got to. I don't mean to rush you, but I kind of gotta try to get through these next
All
two
right.
points
Yeah.
quick. I'm gonna surprise some people with this one. People are gonna think I'm crazy. I think Murray, a good spot. I think he ends up with Jets. They need
Yeah.
a running back. They have money, and I feel like they'll give him some crazy amount of money that we haven't seen a running back get on the open market in a long time. And DeMarco Murray will end up with the Jets.
hmm
I don't know how you feel about that one. Um,
I like Ivory there, so I don't think they go after him because I feel like he's a pretty solid option going ahead. But
well, I'm sorry to rush through this, but
yeah, you
I
guys,
got to. Next up, the last one we'll do in this video is Julius Thomas, which you're a Broncos fan, so you can go ahead and take it away.
I surely hope he ends up in Oakland and has a horrible end of his career, and I hope it lasts for 3 years. And I don't want him
Yeah,
back
you
in
were
Denver.
you were telling me like at the start of last year he's better than Gronk and stuff, and I was like, all right, we'll see how this works out.
I was wrong. I was very wrong.
He was like the fantasy king for until I got him with that trade last year. Then he
Yeah,
just went completely downhill.
yeah. I'm happy I made that trade.
So you think he ends up with? I mean, I got the ring anyway. So, but we
Yeah.
won't go there. But you think he ends up in Oakland?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, the Oakland's a major possibility for him. I'm gonna go the other side of the team that people are talking about, which I don't know why it's bad teams, but I think Jacksonville is gonna pay a lot of money for him, and I feel like they just feel as an organization they need to make a splash to bring some fans in. And I feel like they'll go out and finally spend the money on a quality free agent. And I feel like Julius Thomas is going to be a Jaguar. Is that going
hmm
to work? No, maybe. But, it'll give Bortles a weapon, which I don't think he has any of right now. And,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's going to work out for them, but it's the way else. I see it kind of going down.
Yep.
So, yeah, any other quick things you want to add before I have to wrap this up?
Yeah. The only other team I heard that had major interest in him, was the Falcons. I guess to replace Tony Gonzalez. But anywhere I go, I feel like he'll end up, unless he's with a really good quarterback, feel he'll end up as a bust just because of the fact he's got a bad work ethic from what I've heard from people in the locker room. He can't block. He obviously can't dominate the middle of the field like Gronk and Jimmy Graham and them.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good red zone threat, but that's about it.
Well, I hate to rush through this, but I got to go. So, I'm just going to go ahead and like, subscribe, comment this video. Follow me on Twitter at TravisParks21. Go ahead and plug any of your stuff if you want to.
At Hunter5Loan, Loan.
All right, yep, drop us both a follow. That'll be the greatest decision you've ever made. I feel like quality decision in your lifetime. Must follow. Um, I'm gonna start doing more videos about other sports on this channel. I'm gonna get some baseball season previews, which that'll probably be just me. Just some baseball previews. Talk about NASCAR and maybe some basketball topics. Probably bring up some March Madness. Talk about my bracket or any of that. So yeah, that's just about it. So thanks for watching this video. All right, peace out.